Cari, thank you so much for the dream interpretation request. It's me, Jesse, here to answer your dreams, and I'm excited to get to this one because it's kind of a nightmare. And I don't know if you know this, follow my content. Nightmares are kind of my favorite and sometimes hold some of the best secrets to what our unconscious mind is trying to tell us, trying to warn us about, trying to give us insight about. So, Cari, let me read through this dream just all the way through, and then we're going to kind of analyze some of the symbols and come up with the solution to what it is that you maybe need to kind of understand and kind of get some awareness about your unconscious mind. So, sit back, relax. Here we go. I had a dream that I was with my parents, specifically my mom who passed away and my dad. It says, if I could see my mom and I knew she was there, but she wouldn't answer me. My dad was pushing a huge cart piled sky high up a hill. I kept telling him, okay, love you, Dad, bye, and he didn't respond to me. Then we went home. Turned out to be an old, white, scary house. I knew my mom was in the house, but I couldn't see her. I kept telling her, Mom, Mom, but she didn't answer. I tried to open the door, but just glanced out a window as the shutters were opened, and I saw something. This is the scary part. I saw something, what seemed like a little boy, a small kid, but I couldn't see their face. It was as if the boy didn't have a face, and his pants were above his head. I got scared, closed the window, and woke up very scared. It wasn't a good feeling. It was very scary. I felt very uneasy about having the dream. The White House in particular was scary. I'm not sure if my kids were there, but it felt as if I was with the whole family. But specifically, I know the presence of my mom who passed away was there, but I couldn't really see her and she wouldn't answer me. I feel like we were at a carnival or something or some kind of function. I just kept remembering my dad pushing a tower of a cart of some sort with tons of things, trying to balance it, and he wouldn't respond back to me. Just very uneasy dream. Cari, this is fantastic. This is a great dream, and we're just going to go from the beginning to the ending. So when you think about the mind and the way that the unconscious brain works in these kind of situations, all of these different symbols and pieces, including mother and father, are going to be parts of you. Now, they could be memories of your mom and dad. They could be like the things that your mom and dad have taught you, but I don't think either of those are what's happening here. With this particular dream, the mom and the dad are symbolizing two parts of yourself. The sort of analytical, logical, like, like breadwinner kind of person, the one that shoulders all the responsibility, that's going to be symbolized by your dad. That's your more critical, logical, analytical brain. The part that's symbolized by your mom is more your emotions, your care, your nurturing, right? The more emotional parts. And those are very archetypal symbols, right? Your mother and father may not have been exactly that way, but these are the archetypes, the images of those symbols that are inside of you. Your more analytical, logical side and your more emotional, caretaking side. Now, the interesting thing, though, is you can't even see your mom. You can see her maybe off way in the distance, but you don't have a good connection with her. And I'm going to venture out and say, well, the struggle for you is your caretaker is missing. There's a lack of self-care in your life. You're not taking care of the things that you need to take care of. You're looking for answers and solutions, and here's where the dad part comes in. You're burdening yourself with all these responsibilities and probably putting things in your cart that shouldn't be there. There's no reason for a cart to be filled sky high. You know what I'm saying? It would make sense to take on a very specific and finite number of things and activities, so that way you can really invest your energy where it needs to be. But this logical, analytical, caretaking, well, not caretaking, but the father side of you, the masculine side of you, is overburdened. And your self-care is nowhere to be found. You don't accept help very well. It's the self-care that you need to be taking is not present. And so that's the mother and father. But then we get into this White House. Well, the house, as you may have known from seeing my other YouTube videos, is always a symbol for the mind, the psyche, right? There's rooms, upstairs, downstairs, all symbols for everything that's going on in here. Now, particularly your house is white, white being a symbol for, well, death. Your mind is dead inside. It's scary. In fact, you reach out for these probably type of dream interpretations. You probably follow a lot of mental health content, spiritual content on the internet, and you get a lot of enjoyment from that. But really what you're trying to do is you're trying to convince yourself that this in here is happy and nice, when right now it's not really happy and nice. And we need to be honest about that, don't we? There's problems that, even as I'm saying this right now, you're thinking of in your brain, and you're like, yeah, no, I've ignored that. Yeah, I've ignored that. Yeah, I take on more responsibility than I need to here. And we know that these things aren't good for us, but Cari, you keep taking these on yourself, and it's starting to make the inside of your mind a little scary. It's not a place that you want to live because you haven't made choices to bring yourself enjoyment. You know what I'm saying? And so, we get to the White House, a symbol for death. Don't let that be a negative symbol. And certainly we're not talking, any kind of self-harm things there. Obviously, talk to a therapist, get help if you're having some thoughts about self-harm. This is just a symbol for the old way of thinking needs to die, and there needs to be a rejuvenation of your mind. That's why you're here. That's why I'm interpreting this dream for you. Your mind has been screaming this at you for a while, and you're just now getting the message. But the final symbol, this child, right? That's outside. This one breaks my heart because the child, as with all these other symbols, your mind is very consistent in the way that it's interpreting symbols here. The child is you. There are vulnerable, scared, weak parts of you that are precious and valuable and will grow into amazing things for you. But Cari, I've got a feeling that you kind of left them out in the cold, that you haven't taken the time to get to know them, and so they appear faceless. There's parts of you that feel vulnerable, scared. Maybe there's a history of trauma for you. This kind of dream, I'm kind of wondering if there might be. Let your mind sort of take that where it will. But I'm wondering if that history of things that you've experienced, maybe traumatic, maybe not, have given you this mental map of, I need to leave that inner child, those weak parts of me, out in the cold. And this is why you can't see your mother in your dream, because you've left that child out in the cold. And well, I think your mother's out in the cold with them, trying to take care of them, and you've left them out of the house. And so, well, the answer to the dream, take care of yourself. Be nice to yourself. Those weak and vulnerable parts that have scared you before, that little child that's terrifying you, bring them into the house, warm them up, get to know them, and find out the type of person they are, because that is the most beautiful part of who you are. So I hope this has been helpful. I'm running out of time. I went way over already, but the imagery here was just so good not to go into it in detail. I hope that gives you some insight. I hope you do the good work and fight the fight of taking care of yourself, because you're worth it. And I'm so glad that you found me today. If I can be of any help, let me know. Reach out. You've got my email, all the contact stuff. I'm here for you. I hope you're there for yourself too. Until next time, peace.